Scroll staff share tweet email Reddit print share tweet email Reddit print Internet Crimes by Scroll staff published November 23, 2017 12:43 p.m. Reuters. Facebook announced on Wednesday that it would allow some of its users to see if they had liked or followed pages run by the Russian entity Internet Research Agency either on Facebook or Instagram. The tool will be available for use by the end of 2017 in the Facebook Health Center, the company said. Users will be able to see if they had followed or liked these pages between January 2015 and August 2017. This is part of our ongoing effort to protect our platforms and the people who use them from bad actors who try to undermine our democracy, Facebook said. It is important that people understand how foreign actors tried to sow division and mistrust using Facebook before and after the 2016 U.S. election. Technology companies Facebook, Twitter and Google have been under fire in the United States for not doing more to prevent alleged Russian interference in the American political process. Democrats and some Republicans on a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee had complained that the companies waited almost a year to publicly admit how many Americans were exposed to alleged Russian effort to spread propaganda during the presidential election. Following backlash, Facebook had in October announced that it would increase transparency in advertising. An estimated 10 million people in the United States have seen political, divisive advertisements on Facebook before and after the 2016 presidential elections, the company admitted. More than 3,000 such advertisements were paid for by Internet Research Agency. Facebook, along with Twitter and Google, was asked to testify before the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee in the investigation into alleged Russian meddling in the U.S. election. An internal review had found that Russia-based advertisers had spent more than 17 lakh rupees on 3,000 Facebook ads. On September 29, Twitter had said that a Russian state-funded media organization had placed over 1,800 advertisements in 2016 in the run-up to the presidential election, by spending more than 1.5 crore rupees. We welcome your comments at letters@scroll.in. Facebook, Instagram. Russia U.S. presidential election sponsored content by published October 30, 2017 03:34 p.m. Share tweet email Reddit print share tweet email Reddit print. The cultural similarities between Germany and India are well known, especially with regards to the language. Linguists believe that Sanskrit and German share the same Indo-Germanic heritage of languages. A quick comparison indeed holds up theory. Ratha in Sanskrit, chariot is rad in German, aksha axle in Sanskrit is achse in German, and so on. Germans have long held a fascination for Indology in Sanskrit. While Max Muller is still admired for his translation of ancient Indian scriptures, other German intellectuals such as Goethe, Herder and Schlegel were deeply influenced by Kalidasa. His poetry is said to have informed Goethe's plays, and inspired Schlegel to eventually introduce formal Indology in Germany. Beyond the arts and academia, Indian influences even found their way into German fast food. Indians would recognize the famous German curry powder as a modification of the Indian masala mix. Its most popular application is the currywurst, fried sausage covered in curried ketchup. It is no wonder then that German travelers in India find quite a lot in common between the two cultures, even today. Some, especially those who've settled here, even confess to Indian culture growing on them with time. Isabel, like most travelers, first came to India to explore the country's rich heritage. She returned the following year as an exchange student, and a couple of years later found herself working for an Indian consultancy firm. When asked what prompted her to stay on, Isabel said, "I love the market dynamics here. Working here is so much fun. Anywhere else would seem boring compared to India." Having co-founded a company, she eventually realized her entrepreneurial dream here and now resides in Goa with her husband. Isabel says there are several aspects of life in India that remind her of home. How we interact with our everyday life is similar in both Germany and India. Separate house slippers to wear at home, the celebration of food and festivals, the importance of friendship. She feels Germany and India share the same spirit, especially in terms of festivities. We love food and we love celebrating food. There is an entire countdown to Christmas. Every day there is some dinner or get-together, much like how Indians excitedly count down to Navratri or Diwali. Francisca, who was born in India to German parents, adds that both the countries exhibit the same kind of passion for their favorite sport. In India, they support cricket like anything, while in Germany it would be football. Having lived in India for almost a decade, Isabel has also noticed some broad similarities in the way children are brought up in the two countries. We have a saying in South Germany, Schaf Haus Bau, that loosely translates to, work, work, work and build a house. I found that parents here have a similar outlook to teach their children to work hard. They feel that they've fulfilled their duty only once the children have moved out or gotten married. Also, my mother never let me leave the house without a big breakfast. It's the same here. The importance given to the care of the family is one similarity that came up again and again in conversations with all German expats. While most people wouldn't draw parallels between German and Indian discipline or lack thereof, Germans married to Indians have found a way to bridge the gap. Take for example, Ilka, who thinks that the famed differences of discipline between the two cultures actually works to her marital advantage. She sees the difference as Germans being highly planning-oriented while Indians are more flexible in their approach. Ilka and her husband balance each other out in several ways. She says, like most Germans, she too tends to get stressed when her plans don't work out, but her husband calms her down. Consequently, Ilka feels India is so of life. The social life here is more happening, people smile at you, bond over food and are much more relaxed. Isabel, too, can attest to Indians' friendliness. When asked about an Indian characteristic that makes her feel most at home, she quickly answers, humor. Whether it's a taxi driver or someone I'm meeting professionally, I've learnt that it's easy to lighten the mood here by just cracking a few jokes. Indians love to laugh, she adds. Indeed, these Germans who never left as just die-hard Indophiles are more Indian than you'd guess at first, having even developed some classic Indian skills with time. Ilka assures us that her husband can't bargain as well as she does, and that she can even drape a sari on her own. Isabel, meanwhile, feels some amount of Indianness has seeped into her because, whenever it's raining, my body instantly craves chai and samosa. Like the long-settled German expats in India, the German airline, Lufthansa, too has incorporated some quintessential aspects of Indian culture in its service. Recognizing the centuries-old cultural affinity between the two countries, Lufthansa now provides a rich experience of Indian hospitality to all flyers on board its flights to and from India. You can expect a greeting of Namaste by an all-Indian crew, Indian food, and popular Indian in-flight entertainment options. And as the video shows, India's culture and hospitality have been internalized by Lufthansa to the extent that they are more Indian than you think. To experience Lufthansa's hospitality on your next trip abroad, click here. This article was provided by the Scroll marketing team on behalf of Lufthansa as part of their More Indian Than You Think initiative and not by the Scroll editorial team.